Welcome back to the deep dive. You ready for another wild one?
Always ready to dive in.
Today we're going all in on Roswell, but with a twist. We're using Alien Interview as our guide.
Ah, yes, the infamous alleged deathbed confession of Matilda O'Donnell McElroy.
Exactly. Now, everyone knows the basic Roswell story. Crashed, flying disc, government cover-ups. You know, the drill.
A classic tale of mystery and intrigue.
But this book goes a step further, claiming to be the first-hand account of a military nurse who says she talked to a survivor of the crash.
And not just talked to, but communicated telepathically with an alien.
Yeah, telepathy. That's where things get interesting. So it's 1947, Roswell, New Mexico. A flying disc crashes. The military shows up and things get very hush-hush.
Standard operating procedure for those alleged government cover-ups.
Right. Now, this book, published back in 2008 by Lawrence Spencer, is supposedly based on McElroy's own notes. She kept this whole thing secret for decades, afraid for her life.
The book frames it as a deathbed confession, which of course adds a whole layer of drama and intrigue. McElroy claimed that others who knew too much met with untimely ends, so she decided to spill the beans before opting for assisted death.
Wow, so we've got government conspiracies, aliens, and assisted death all in one story. This is the deep dive at its finest. All right, let's meet our mysterious narrator. What does the book tell us about Nurse McElroy?
Well, she describes herself as a young nurse who suddenly gets thrown into the center of this top-secret event.
So she's surrounded by panicked military personnel, and she's the only one who can communicate with this alien.
That's the claim, yeah. They call the alien Errol.
Hold on, the only one. Out of all the doctors, scientists, military brass,
Yeah.
they need a young nurse with telepathic powers to talk to the alien.
Apparently. It kind of sets her up as this unique figure, almost like a chosen one. Plays into that whole idea of the lone individual who has this special knowledge that the authorities overlook.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What about Errol? What does this book's alien look like? Are we talking bug-eyed little green men or something different?
Errol is described as non-gendered, gray-skinned, and large-headed. No visible ears, nose, or mouth. No organs in the human sense.
So basically no need for snacks, oxygen, or bathroom breaks.
Right. More like a living network of biocircuitry, as the book puts it.
A living computer, huh? Sounds efficient for space travel.
It does make you wonder if the author was maybe poking a bit of fun at our human limitations, you know? We're so worried about eating, breathing, sleeping, and Errol just transcends all of that.
So even with this super efficient organless body, Errol still needs to communicate right. How does a telepathic alien who doesn't speak English end up chatting with a military nurse in 1947?
Well, at first it's tough. Errol cooperates, but their answers are vague. The military folks are frustrated because they want concrete intel. And then Errol just stops communicating with everyone except McElroy.
They basically give everyone the silent treatment.
Pretty much. The book says it's because everyone else is too afraid and distrustful. Their negative vibes are blocking the telepathic connection.
So Errol's only willing to chat with those who have good vibes. Interesting. It's like skepticism is a barrier to understanding the universe.
It does play into that trope, right? Only the pure-hearted individual can connect with these higher beings. Kind of ironic, considering the outlandish claims being made.
Totally. Okay, so the military freaks out. They bring in experts, try everything to get Errol talking again. The book even mentions them using children's books to teach Errol English. I'm picturing top military brass gathered around this alien pointing at pictures of talking animals.
It's a pretty funny image.
Okay, so they finally figure out how to communicate with Errol. What earth-shattering secrets does this super-intelligent alien have to share?
Get this. Errol drops a bombshell. Earth is a prison planet.
A prison planet. Now we're talking, what do? Cosmic parking tickets.
The book doesn't get into specifics, but it suggests that Earth is where souls are sent to be recycled and rehabilitated. There's even talk of a soul net that captures escaping souls after death, wipes their memories, and sends them back for another round.
A soul net. Okay, that's just creepy. Sounds like we can check out anytime we like, but we can never leave.
It's a pretty bleak outlook. We're trapped in this endless cycle of amnesia and reincarnation with no memory of our past lives or our true potential.
Okay, so we're cosmic amnesiacs stumbling around a prison planet with no idea why we're here. This is heavy stuff. But before we spiral into an existential crisis, let's talk about this domain a bit more. Who are these guys and why are they running this galactic prison system?
Well, the book describes them as this highly advanced civilization that oversees a huge chunk of the galaxy. Supposedly, they operate based on peace and enlightenment. They've got tech beyond our wildest dreams, but they're content to let Earth just stew in its own problems.
So they're like cosmic landlords who never fix the leaky faucet.
It's an interesting paradox, right? They're supposed to be these enlightened beings, but they're running a prison planet. Makes you wonder if the author was playing with those contradictions a bit.
Okay, so we've got this advanced but kind of passive-aggressive civilization running a prison planet. Their method of keeping us in line. A soul net that snatches up our souls after death and wipes our memories. It's like a cosmic version of witness protection, but instead of protecting us, it's keeping us in the dark.
It's a pretty effective system if you think about it. If we don't remember who we are, where we came from, why we're here, it's pretty hard to rebel.
It's like hitting Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete on our souls every time we die. No wonder we humans have a hard time getting our act together. We're basically starting from scratch every lifetime.
The book suggests that this amnesia is intentional. It's designed to keep us docile and prevent us from tapping into our true potential. Our memories hold the key to breaking free.
So we're not just prisoners on this planet. We're prisoners of our own minds, trapped in this cycle of forgetting. This is getting depressing. Is there any hope? Do we need to meditate on a mountaintop or something?
The book is a bit vague on specifics, but it talks about the importance of self-awareness, connecting with our inner selves, and questioning the reality we're presented with. It's like a cosmic self-help guide.
So instead of looking for external saviors, we need to look within.
That's the idea. The book says that the domain, despite all its technology, can't control our thoughts or our free will.
So the key to freedom is in our minds, in our choices. Classic theme, really. But it takes on a new dimension when you're talking about a prison planet.
Exactly. And that's what makes Alien Interviews so compelling, even with all its fantastical claims. It takes these familiar themes and weaves them into a story that challenges how we see reality, history, and our place in the universe.
Okay, but let's get back to Earth as a prison planet. If the domain is so advanced, why not just fix the problem? Why not liberate us from this soul net? Why the hands-off approach?
Well, the book throws in another twist. It claims that the domain did try to intervene. They sent a mission to Earth thousands of years ago, a group of 3,000 Anunnaki agents tasked with weakening the prison from within.
Wait, Anunnaki. Like the Anunnaki from ancient Sumerian mythology. The ones who supposedly created humans.
The very same. The book suggests that they weren't gods, but advanced extraterrestrials from the domain sent to free humanity.
Okay, so the domain sent the A-team to break us out of space jail. What happened? Did they succeed?
According to Alien Interview, they failed big time. They were either captured, killed, or assimilated by the old empire's technology, and their mission was abandoned.
Wow, so even the most advanced alien intervention couldn't crack this cosmic prison. That's either impressive or really bad planning on the domain's part.
Maybe both. The book says that the old empire's technology is really sophisticated, capable of manipulating consciousness in ways the domain can't fully grasp.
So we're up against a force that can enslave souls and rewrite memories, and even the good guys can't defeat them. This is starting to sound hopeless.
It does paint a bleak picture, but remember, this is just one interpretation of events, one that relies heavily on speculation and unverifiable claims.
Right, skepticism hats on. But even if we take this all with a grain of salt, there are some intriguing ideas here, especially about the Anunnaki. If they were really just advanced extraterrestrials from the domain, why did they disappear? And why are there so many myths about them?
Well, the book has an interesting explanation for that, too. It suggests that the Anunnaki, in a last-ditch effort to help humanity, implanted certain individuals with their knowledge and DNA, hoping to create a lineage of awakened humans who could break free from the soul net.
Wait, so there might be people walking around today with Anunnaki DNA. Like they're descendants of these ancient astronauts, and they have the potential to unlock the secrets of the universe.
That's what the book claims. And this ties into the big reveal about Nurse McElroy. Remember how she was the only one who could communicate with Errol?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Don't tell me. She's one of them.
Bingo. Errol tells McElroy that she's not just a random nurse. She's an Anunnaki descendant chosen for this encounter. It's her destiny to awaken to her true identity and help humanity break free.
So we've got a telepathic nurse, a prison planet, a benevolent but incompetent domain, a sinister old empire, and a secret lineage of Anunnaki descendants walking among us. It's like a cosmic soap opera with ancient astronaut theory thrown in for good measure.
It's a lot to process, and we're not even done yet.
This is just getting started.
Remember, the military was getting increasingly impatient with Errol's answers. They wanted hard facts, not philosophical musing.
Oh, yeah. They were not happy campers. What did they do?
Well, their patience finally ran out. They decided to try a more forceful approach.
Uh-oh, forceful. What does that mean?
They gave Errol a mild electric shock. They hoped it would elicit a more straightforward response.
A shock. What were they thinking?
It didn't go well. In fact, they accidentally killed Errol.
Wait, so that's it. The alien's dead. Game over.
Well, not quite. The book claims that Errol's physical body died, but their essence, their soul, survived and escaped back to the domain.
Okay, so the alien pulled a cosmic Houdini. What about McElroy? What happened to her after this whole alien electrocution incident?
She was discharged immediately, given a big chunk of hush money, a new identity, and a strict gag order. Never speak of this again, they told her. But there's one more twist.
Of course there is. There's always another twist.
Even though Errol's physical body was gone, they contacted McElroy one last time telepathically. They reassured her that they were safe and promised to return for her someday to free her from this prison planet.
Okay, let's recap. We've got government conspiracies, a prison planet Earth reincarnation, ancient astronauts, telepathic communication. It's like someone took every sci-fi trope and mashed them together.
It's a pretty wild story, but it's important to remember that alien interview is just one interpretation of events. It might appeal to people who already distrust official narratives.
Right, it plays on those fears of cover-ups and hidden truths. But even if we're skeptical, there are some interesting ideas here. It makes you wonder, what if there's some truth to this crazy tale?
It's a question worth asking. But maybe instead of taking everything at face value, we could view Alien Interview through a satirical lens. Satirical? You mean like the author was making fun of our beliefs and biases?
Exactly. Take Errol's anatomy, for example. A being of pure energy and consciousness, no need to eat, breathe, or sleep. They experience time in a non-linear way. Sounds like someone took all our excuses for not getting things done and turned them into superpowers.
It's the ultimate excuse for procrastination. Sorry, I can't finish that report. My consciousness is experiencing time non-linearly today.
Right. And it's not just the anatomy. Think about the telepathy. McElroy's the only one who can talk to Errol because everyone else is too negative. It's almost like skepticism is a bad thing, a barrier to enlightenment.
So to understand the truth about aliens, we have to just blindly accept whatever we're told.
That's one interpretation,
Yeah.
and it might be appealing to some people. Alien Interview offers a very black and white view of the world. Believers and non-believers, no room for nuance.
Which is ironic because history is rarely that simple. Any story that claims to have all the answers should raise some red flags. Agreed. Now let's talk about Earth as a prison planet. It's a common theme in conspiracy theories, but Alien Interview adds its own spin.
Oh, yeah. It's not just that we're stuck here. It's that our memories are wiped, our souls are recycled, and we're trapped in this cycle of suffering and amnesia.
And who are the wardens of this cosmic prison? The old empire, a shadowy force that was defeated, but whose systems of control are still in place. Sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it?
A powerful, unseen entity manipulating humanity for its own purposes. Definitely giving me some Big Brother vibes with a touch of the Matrix.
It plays on those anxieties about who's really in control, and then there's the Anunnaki connection.
Gotta love a good Anunnaki conspiracy. But this is where Anunnaki Interview gets really strange.
Right. Not only are the Anunnaki real, but they were sent here to free us, and they failed.
Comforting thought, isn't it? We're trapped and our would-be rescuers couldn't hack it.
It's almost comical, but maybe the author was satirizing our tendency to romanticize the past. We look to ancient civilizations for answers as if they hold the key to our salvation.
So maybe the message is that we can't rely on ancient aliens or mystical beings to save us. We have to figure things out ourselves.
Exactly. And that might be why this story focuses on McElroy. She's not a superhero or a sage. She's an ordinary person who stumbles into this extraordinary situation.
And she's the one who figures out how to break free from the soul net, not through magic, but through her connection with Errol, her questioning, and her own potential.
It's a message of empowerment, isn't it? We all have that potential, regardless of who we are or where we come from.
So Alien Interview, with all his crazy claims, might actually be about taking control of our own destinies.
That's one interpretation, and it resonates with people who are disillusioned or seeking something more.
It gives us something to think about even if we don't believe the whole prison planet thing. It's about our perception of reality, our relationship with authority, our search for meaning.
And that's what makes Alien Interviews so fascinating. It works on multiple levels: sci-fi adventure, philosophical explorations, social commentary.
It challenges us to question, to explore, to imagine, and maybe even to laugh at ourselves a little.
Exactly. And ultimately, regardless of whether we believe it or not, Alien Interview reminds us that the stories we tell ourselves about the world are often more about us than about any objective truth.
They reflect our fears, our hopes, our desires. Sometimes the most fantastical stories tell us the most about human nature.
True. Now, are you ready to delve into some of the more creative aspects of Errol's worldview? Because things are about to get even wilder.
Oh, I'm strapped in and ready for liftoff. Hit me with your best shot.
So we're talking about Earth as a prison planet, this soul net that traps and recycles souls. What's the point? Why go through all this trouble just to keep us in the dark?
Yeah, why bother with all this cosmic manipulation? What's the end game here?
Well, the book suggests that it's all about control. The old empire, the ones who created the soul net, they wanted to suppress human consciousness, prevent us from reaching our full potential.
So they're afraid of us, basically. Afraid of what we might become if we were truly aware of ourselves and our capabilities.
Exactly. They feared our creativity, our rebellious nature, our ability to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
So we're being punished for being human, for having the audacity to think, to question, to explore.
It plays into a lot of our anxieties, doesn't it? About being controlled, about limitations, about the stories we're told about who we are and what we're capable of.
It's like we're living in a self-imposed soul net, even without the old empire's interference. We conform to expectations, we follow the rules, we limit ourselves.
Maybe that's part of the message of Alien Interview. It's not just about some external force, it's about the prisons we create for ourselves.
Okay, but let's not forget the Anunnaki. They were sent here to dismantle this soul net, to liberate us right.
That's how the book portrays them. But of course they fail spectacularly.
Which adds a whole other layer of weirdness to the story.
Yeah.
Super advanced ancient astronauts, and they can't even handle a soul net. Come on.
It's almost like the author is poking fun at our tendency to romanticize the past. We look to these ancient civilizations for answers as if they hold all the wisdom and knowledge.
As if the answers to our modern problems lie buried somewhere in ancient ruins or encoded in ancient myths.
Exactly. Maybe the real message is that we can't rely on ancient aliens or mystical beings to save us. We have to figure things out for ourselves.
So no magical solutions, no Deus Ex Machina, no ancient astronauts swooping in to save the day. We're on our own.
It's a bit daunting, isn't it? But it's also empowering in a way.
Okay, so we've got this soul net trapping us, the Anunnaki failing to free us the domain, sitting back and watching the show. Where does that leave Nurse McElroy? She's just an ordinary person caught in the middle of this cosmic mess.
Right, but she's also the key to breaking free. Not because she's special or powerful, but because she's open to new ideas. She questions the reality she's presented with. She connects with Errol on a deeper level.
So it's not about magic powers or ancient knowledge. It's about consciousness, about awareness, about the choices we make.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the power that we have within ourselves to shape our own reality, to break free from the limitations that we've imposed on ourselves.
Alien Interview is a wild story for sure. Prison planets, soul nets, Anunnaki descendants. It's a lot to take in. But maybe beneath all the fantastical elements, there's a deeper message about human potential, about the power of the mind, about the importance of questioning and seeking truth.
It's a story that invites us to think outside the box, to challenge our assumptions, to explore the unknown, and maybe even to find a little bit of hope and inspiration amidst the chaos and uncertainty of the universe.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Alien Interview. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through government conspiracies, ancient mysteries, and the nature of reality itself.
Keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember the truth is out there somewhere, just waiting to be discovered.
Until next time, keep looking up, and remember, the truth is out there, somewhere.